Guys, welcome to Construct Your Life. This is Austin Linney. I have no idea why I put my hands up every time. We got Josh Schultz. Man, they manage 10 businesses in 10 different states. They do $30 million a year. This guy is a human ops. I think he's a cyborg. We don't even know. But he's a great guy, becoming a quick friend. He always teaches me something new. When we jump in, we talk about life, cash flow, all sorts of different things. So jump on in the episode and enjoy this 3-part series. We'll see you in there.
Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
What? Part 3. Guys, I told him that he's not going to be able to do his Josh thing, and I got to pick the topic. And we're gonna go home on this one, and we're gonna look. I interviewed Reg last week. You and I are getting to know each other more and more. You were down in South Carolina for stuff that you had to do with your plant. You got 10 businesses all across the country. Let's talk about kind of your position as a family man, chasing aspirations within your life for you, because your family's probably very comfortable and will continue to be more comfortable. How do you and your wife stay on the same page? And then how do you balance your aspirations of what you need to feel alive, but also, be home and kind of running these big businesses?
Yeah. My world's gotten smaller, to be honest with you. That's how. When I was younger, 20, probably making up for lost time, I was trying to meet everybody and anybody. So I grew up sheltered, is the best way to put it. I grew up under a rock until I was about 20. And then I just went balls to the wall, travel, network, said yes to everything. And that became my modus operandi, yes to everything. And so trying to undo that has been a bit of a mental struggle for me. Like I say yes, and then I leave, and I'm like, wait, why did I just say yes to that? Like, I don't want to do it. I'm not even good at it, but I'm undoing that. And so trying to make my world smaller. When I was 20, I wanted to change the world. Now I believe one of the best ways I can change the world is being a really good friend to 3 to 5 people, being a really good dad to my kids, trying to support my wife. And so, and I know that doesn't sound grandiose and exciting, but if we all did that, that'd be the world right there. Like if we all treated our kids, every kid's got a parent somewhere, even if they're adopted or don't have parents alive, there's somebody somewhere helping them with something. That's just the way the system and the program works. And if we could enact and start to, as parents, not pass on our shit, and as systems that are taking care of kids, not pass on poor thinking through the system, whatever that system is, whether it's orphanage, whether it's the government, we create a generation each time that's got less shit to deal with, making less poor decisions, hurting less people. So yeah, I think that is world changing. So that's been my thing, is making my world smaller and trying to make it a higher quality person as a result.
Yeah, I think that you and I have similar stories when, I still travel a bunch, but I'm in a season of my life right now, and I was just talking to Nick about this because I'm going to fly out to Idaho soon. I'm rebuilding the next 3 to 5 years of exactly what I want, and I'm getting very technical about what I will do, what I won't do, who I need in my life to make that happen, where I want it to happen, what business I'm going to be in, and frankly, if I'm being honest, there's not a lot of room for a lot of other people in that life. I'm very social. I talk to 1 million people a day, but that doesn't mean I commit to a lot of things anymore. And it's not that I want to be rude. It's that my effort, the greatest impact that exists in my life and for my future family that I plan to have, I find that energy in my business and in my current community, and being comfortable with that, because I do want to trailblaze and I do want to do big things, but they all start from serving here now. And I think the highest point of leverage in my life can be within my business and my community now.
Yeah. I've found as a general rule in my life, this is my experience. I don't know if this is everybody. The best way I've gotten ahead is by doing whatever I have in front of me the best I can. Every time I've tried to think ahead and plan ahead and take courses for ahead and take certifications because of what I wanted to do, I almost never used them. CFA, CMT, MBA, all this stuff. Didn't really use. Whenever I've like crushed what's in front of me, really got into ISO because I had an ISO thing. It's been a year learning it, and when I was with my dad, I've used that immensely. It helped me get noticed by Parker Hannafin, and just doing little things that were in front of me the best of my ability. And so I think that carries beyond work though. Like I got a 7 and a 4-year-old. Trying to get to know them individually. What kind of dad do each of them need? It's not the same dad. It's not a dad who shows up, plays games with both of them, and leaves and says, "I checked my box." It's my son needs me to fulfill his curiosity, and he needs me to make sure that I know that he's doing the right things. He kind of needs some pat on the back. My daughter does not need a pat on the back. She needs more bumpers, and she needs somebody to have fun with her and to just spend time. Quality time is what she wants. And so I need to make sure I'm not just the same person showing up, not being open to what they need. My wife needs even something different. So, yeah, I think that just being aware of what's in front of me, trying to do it the best, whether it's work or family. And to do that, like you just said, you need to make your world smaller. You can't be who you really should be. And I found as I've tried to open it up, I fail. I feel like I fail as a friend. I feel like I fail as a partner, as a thought partner. And so I say no because I know that I'm going to fail on somebody asking me if they can have 30 minutes here, or if I can look over this, or if I can help them with the resume or whatever. I get requests every day. And I feel like I fail at a lot of them when I try to go beyond what I know that I have room for. And that's hard to explain to somebody because to them, all they see is them asking you one thing. They don't see it as me receiving 50 things from all over and then failing at 49 of them, and then me feeling like a failure, even though one person got helped. So I think you're dead on, like you said, I don't have room for people. I see that. I don't see anything wrong with that statement. I think inexperienced or low committed people will see that as like, oh, you're cutting people out, but no, you're raising the quality and you're making sure you only go to where you can produce that quality or that leverage or that real output.
Well, let's look. It's the same thing I tell my business partners. We didn't buy the business for it to stay neutral. We bought it to scale. So we're going to open a second location. I can say the same thing for my employees. I didn't buy the business to sit it and forget it. I bought it to make better humans. So why wouldn't I put my energy and time in making sure my employees have everything they need? But just so we're clear, and you have more than I do, when you have 42 people in your company, there's always something going on.
Yeah.
And this week, on Thursday, I'm taking one sale. I was going to take both salesmen out to the new location. And my CEO said, why don't you do it separately? So they get some Austin time. You haven't really and I said, you know what? You're fucking right. You're 100% right. So I'm going to go play golf with one of the salesmen. And I'm going to take the other one and we're going to talk about life. And that is my role as a president, to make sure that their needs and wants. And guess what? That takes a lot out of me too. But that's my role, and I'm comfortable with that. And then I don't even have kids. Then I got to come home and deal with my coaching clients, my podcast guests, my other businesses, and I never, ever, 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 ever my entire life put my oxygen mask on first. Ever. Yeah. And that's what I'm learning to do right now. And it's a very, very, very long process. You know what my fiance said to me? Because I'll do anything for anybody. I'll literally, if you're, I'd buy something for your son, whatever you need, I don't care. And she goes, your need to not do stuff for yourself, to spend money on yourself, is you not loving yourself. Yeah. And I'm like, damn it. You're 100% right.
There was a really good pod recently on, I think called the CEO Whisperer, one of Shane Parrish's podcasts, but,
it's the best podcast I've ever listened to.
Yeah, that was
ever. Awesome. That guy, I listened to it 4 times, sent to 10 people. It was amazing.
Yep. Yeah, that spoke to me a lot on a lot of internal issues coming out, like you're talking about. And yeah, I mean, that's the reality. Every day, I've got 120 employees, about 100 of whom I probably know personally. I've got 4 PMs. I've got a CEO, Reg. I've got a CTO that we talk almost on the daily. Me and the PMs talk almost every day. I've got a couple of mid-level managers that I talk to directly every day. I got 2 kids. I got a wife. I got a few friends. I got about 20 or 30 people in text like you that we're going back and forth on throughout the week. I mean, that's a full-time thing, just communicating with all those people and keeping them all going. It's just hard to expand that unless there's a really good reason. And I don't mean business reason. I just mean a really can I add a lot of value to you, or am I just going to be another person giving you rote advice that you can get from a book or 10 other people? If that's the case, then I'm probably not going to jump on with you. You and I talk about things that aren't in a book, and you're not going to get anywhere else. So yeah, this relationship is valuable. This one is worth pursuing because there's some unique conversations happening, questions happening. So, and that's a tough call. It's hard to tell somebody that. I probably don't. I just all of a sudden drop off. But that's the reality of life. There's just a lot coming at you, and it's crazy.
One of my favorite quotes I ever heard, was water the plant to the right of you, or stop watering the plant to the right of you and see how long you've been watering a weed.
Yeah.
And it's true. Look, you can ask my fiance. When I'm humming, she's like, I think you talk to like 70 people in a day, like maybe more. And for me not to respond to you, to create boundaries, right? If I respond the next day or just don't, never done that before, ever. It feels so good to not have to respond, to not have to respond, right? And it's not that I'm being rude. It's that I want to be in the right space to give you the information. It's intentionality. I want to be in the right space to give you the answer that you know. And I'm going to let you know that it's 4:00 here, about to be 4:00. I've been on a meeting talking about $100 million deal. I've gone to a breakfast this morning. I've hung out with my fiance. I've done 5 podcasts. At 4:00, if you call me and you want to talk about some stuff, and I still got to do an hour worth of post-production to get everything in the right places. I ain't got much for you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And guess what? I got a coaching call tomorrow at 6 a.m. I got another meeting. That's my week. And guess what? There are some days where I go golfing. But when I'm not, it's very busy. But I never said no. Right? And what I've done now, this is something new. A kid reached out to me today. We'll see. Talking about an internship. I qualify stuff. Okay? You're a young person and you want information from me, or you want to be in my world. Go read this book and tell me what you've learned. I'm not being rude. If you can't even follow through with that simple little thing, then I don't really want. I don't do that with my older friends, but I try to help as many people as I can. But I never thought I would be, and I never thought it would be this way for me. But that's where we are, and sometimes you got to do a little qualify.
You know what? Christian Ruff, I talked to quite a bit. One of the things he pushed me to, I've done it the last 4 weeks in a row, and it's been the greatest thing, is I found the rest of the week is bearable if I do this one thing. I take my phone every Friday night, and I throw it right here on the charger in my office. I shut that door, and I'll come in here for one full day. On Saturday, I don't check my phone. Anything can happen. If it's an emergency, people know my wife's number. They can get a hold of her. And I just am whatever they want to do. Maybe I'll help out around the house. We'll go take the kids somewhere, whatever. We'll do our thing. And then Sunday morning, I feel recharged. Because like you said, it's that feeling of needing to get back to somebody and seeing their messages and knowing the answer in your head. Like, I just got to get this to them. So I let myself rest from that for one day. And then Sunday, I'm fine. Like, all right, great. I got 15 messages. I got 20 DMs. I got 100 emails. And I can bust all that out in an hour and a half, and there's no stress in it. But having that one day a week where I just step away from the need to be connected and communicating and answering and on call for somebody, whether it's an employee or a manager or a family member or something, friends, like I need a day. Like what you said, put my oxygen mask on. That's my oxygen mask. One day where it's like, I'm not reachable today. I'm not on your call. This is Saturday. I'm going to be serving my family, and I'm just going to be chilling, looking at stars and walls and skies, and I'll be back tomorrow. So,
dude, this really successful real estate investor I know, who has property everywhere. He told a story one time. He said he only responds to email. Look, I'm not going to get this insane, but he only responds to emails in the morning from 6 to 8, and then his phone's off the rest of the day. It's just he has a big team, they can handle it. One of his rental houses burned down, and he didn't know for like 2 days, and everybody was freaking out. And he goes, "What am I, a fucking fireman? What the fuck was I going to do?"
Yeah.
He goes, "The insurance company's going to take about it. The family's safe. Everything's fine." And look, that's an extreme point, but it is important that I would say that 99% of the things that you think are emergency. Here's my big thing. This is where it sits with me. This is the crutch to the foundation of this. And I've heard about the no phone thing, and I need to do it because it just needs to happen. I refuse to be a bottleneck in anything. That's my number one fear. When a deal needs to get done or something needs to get closed or an answer I refuse to be the bottleneck. But now that I'm thinking about it and talking about it out loud, me not having to have that answer for somebody could empower them to find the answer in themselves, which then might scale them and make them a better person. So now that I'm saying that out loud, maybe I'm facilitating too much and crutching people's growth.
Yeah. I try to check email twice a day. And if it's not good enough, then it's like either I have too much or I need to, that's kind of my barometer. If I can't handle what I've got coming in, I check at like 11 and I check again before the end of the day.
I love it. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed a little different episode today. Josh, if they want to check out your newsletter and all that stuff, how would they do that?
JoshuaSchultz.com and follow me on Joshua M. Schultz and on X.
I love it. Guys, share it with a friend, and we'll see you next time. Guys, let me take a minute to tell you about my buddies over at Lead Hub, Ben and Aaron, the best humans I know. Not only are they amazing at marketing for trade companies, but Ben started his HVAC company in his garage, sold it for multi-million dollars. So when this guy talks, I listen. When we took over Dietz Mechanical, we had 22 reviews in 22 years. In 7 short months, we went from 22 reviews to 107. We went from a 4.2 to a 4.7. We tripled our Facebook presence and we tripled our calls. If you're an HVAC, plumbing, electric, landscaping company, and you're looking for a no BS approach to marketing, you're looking for people who have done it before, you got to go to leadhub.net